Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय, जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण। ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for giving us this wonderful opportunity to serve all of you once again. Welcome to Seattle, Samamish Temple. We are especially grateful to the temple management, and I would like to offer my obeisances to His Grace Hari Vilas Prabhu also for his blessings. So, how is everybody? Everybody is Hare Krishna. So once again I am back and the good weather is back. The sun is here. Have I ever told you the story about a devotee who goes to a new town, a new community for preaching? Have I ever told you that story? Well, there are so many stories like that. Which one do you think I'm referring to? This one. So there's this wonderful devotee who's come to a new community, and he wants to share his experiences in Krishna consciousness with this new community. So he takes a few books and is visiting every house in that community, knocking on their doors, ringing their bells, talking with them. In this way, he is able to distribute a few Bhagavad Gitas, a few Ishopanishads. So, as he's walking down the street, at one particular door, he finds a little child, a little boy, 6 years of age, who's jumping up to reach the doorbell, but is not able to reach the doorbell. So a devotee walks up, presses the doorbell, the bell rings. He looks at the boy and smiles at him and says, "Now what?" And the boy says, "Now we run." So what do you think happened there? Any comments, any ideas? What happened? Any lessons? Any realizations? Be careful of little boys. Any lessons to be drawn? Anyone? Thank you so much, Prabhu. Anyone? No? Is this the same community of devotees? That I know of? There must be some ideas, right? What do you think happened? What is the devotee thinking? What was the devotee thinking? To help the boy. Is it right? Is it wrong? Obviously we have no idea. To help the boy. What else was he thinking? Sorry? To distribute books. This is a good opportunity. Young child, most probably someone would be happy if I help the young child, right? The little boy. What did Prabhupada say? Love me, love my. Yeah. If you glorify the child, then the parent becomes happy. So this is an opportunity. What else? Was there any other thought process that could be going through the mind of the devotee? The boy loves to ring the bell. That only Paramanand Prabhu can give an answer like that. The boy loves to ring the bell. Do you really think that the devotee was having any thoughts in his mind? Was he really thinking about it, analyzing, understanding the entire process, having a presentation set up, a whole system, and then working on it? Do you think the devotee was doing that? No? Krishna Chandra, you don't think so? How old are you? 8. Yeah. I wish you had been 6. That was the age of the little boy. 6. You passed that. Now, so he says no. So the devotee was assuming. What was his assumption? His assumptions could have been any of those statements that you made, that the boy needs help. Maybe one assumption that he did make was that this is the boy's house. Imagine you are in this situation and the boy says, "Now you run." And suddenly the door opens. So you are this devotee in devotional clothes, tilak, books. How would the interaction with the owner of the house or the resident go? "I'm sorry, actually I saw a boy there. The boy was trying to ring the bell, and I thought that maybe he wanted to ring the bell. I had no idea that he didn't want to ring the bell. I had no idea that this was not his house. I thought it was his house." Do you think that interaction would go well? Trying to explain oneself? It takes some time. Embarrassment. Maybe also trouble. Do you know why? Why do you think all those situations could have arisen? Any idea? Why would those situations come? How would one find oneself in such a situation? Embarrassment. Find that one is in trouble. Especially when one is trying to help somebody. In this case, particularly in this case, in this example. Because of assumptions. Most importantly, wrong assumption. Why do you think the devotee made an assumption? What could be the cause, the reason for making assumptions? Based on the action? Yes. Based on the situation, the time, place, circumstance, and reading a situation in a particular way, perceiving it in a particular way, and immediately reacting to it. That's one. Secondly, maybe the devotee is taking it for very granted that, oh, help is always needed. Let me help. Lend a helping hand. Without even inquiring as to whether help is really needed. Sometimes we get so much used to wanting to help that we are immediately jumping to help somebody. This happened to me once. I was in Mumbai on the railway station. You know, the suburban trains in Mumbai, every 3 minutes there's a train that pulls in. It comes in completely packed with people like, you herd goats, entire herd of goats. And as the train moves off, it is still full. There's just some displacement and replacement. So I was standing on the platform. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. People in Mumbai know everyone Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. The train pulls in. I'm not able to hear what they are saying. Suddenly the crowd surges forward and I had no intention of going in. So I was trying to pull back. The crowd is pushing me in. And somebody in the crowd felt that maybe I was feeling a little discomfort. Don't worry, Prabhuji. It will be all right. You'll get in safely. And to really, in a helping mood, he calls out to the people inside the train and says, "Hey, help Prabhuji, help this saint, pull him in." So the crowd is pushing me from behind. There's someone who catches hold of me like my kurta, pulls me in. In 30 seconds the train is leaving the platform and I'm like, I have to literally shout out, "I don't want to catch this train." So why didn't you tell us before? Assumptions. Just because I'm on the platform, I look a little frantic, I get pushed in. So interestingly, for the next 3 sessions, today and the next 2 days, I think, so is that right? Till Wednesday? Thursday also? Okay, Thursday also. We'll be speaking on the topic of the theme of assumptions. Now please don't assume anything. Everyone's like, we never heard that before. They're already assuming assumptions. Did everyone have A good day today after the long weekend at work? Was it all right? Yeah, work was bad, good. How was it? How was work today? The usual? Monday morning, and now it's Monday evening. Are you ready to answer a few questions? Why is it? Is it something about this Easter Monday? How is it that nobody is responding? This is my regular, every time I come to Seattle, this is what I have. This is my regular dress. So, ready to answer a few questions? Oh, yeah. My very good friends, Krishna Chandra and Dvaita here. Haribol, how are you doing? Good? Question number 1. If you know the answer, just shout out the answer. If you don't know the answer, still shout out something. I will not wait for you to give me the answer because this is a rapid fire question series. The answer I will be hearing, but we will not be waiting to acknowledge the answer. Is that all right? Okay, question number 1. If there are 3 apples and you take away 2, how many do you have? Question number 2. 30 divided by half plus 10 is how much? 30 divided by half plus 10 is how much? Next. Some months in the year have 31 days. How many months have 28 days? Next question. America has a 4th of July. Do you think Canada has a 4th of July? You enter a dark room with a match, you find that there is an oil lamp, there is a fireplace, and there is a stove. Which would you light first? Okay, last question. Is it legal for a man in California to marry his widow's sister? Okay, so let's analyze these questions now. Let's analyze it. By the time I go through these questions, people understand, trick questions. Trick questions. They're not trick questions, they're simple questions. There are 3 apples, you take away 2, how many do you have? You take away 2, so how many do you have? There are 3 apples, you take away 2. How many do you have?
3!
How do I do this? Everyone got the answer? 3 apples, if you take away 2, how many do you have? 2. So simple, isn't it? So we assume that it should be 1. Why? Because you take away 2, so obviously 3 minus 2. Assumption lands us in trouble, doesn't it? 30 divided by half plus 10 is?
70.
The others are like, no, everyone is on their guard. 30 divided by half plus 10. Yeah, it's definitely not 25, please. It's not half of 30 plus 10. That's not what I said. I said 30 divided by half. It's 70. 25 is the easiest answer, isn't it? Because we assume. Correct? Everyone got that? 30 divided by half 2 goes up. So that is 30 into 2 divided by 1. So that's 60 plus 10. Eureka. Some months have 31 days. How many have 28 days? All 12. All 12 have. Best of luck. This, everybody got it right, I think. So, would Canada also have a 4th of July? Yes, why not? They don't celebrate it. Every country, even India, has a 4th of July. Do you believe it or not? Does India have a 4th of July? Every country has a 4th of July. Only the United States celebrates it. A match is what you have, and you enter a dark room with an oil stove, with a fireplace, the lamp in it. Please light the lamp, the match first. You have to light the match first. Isn't it? Do you think it's legal for a man in California to marry his widow's sister? Widow's sister. A widow. Who is a widow? Yeah, a woman who's lost her husband. So how can a man marry the sister of his widow if his wife is already a widow? If his wife is a widow, that means he is. Do you think even a state like California, which is so liberal, will actually debate whether it is legal or illegal? So is it legal? I think we should end the lecture here. Tomorrow you can come for the next session. So these are some just examples that I pulled up from the internet. Please don't worry, even I got most of them wrong. We are all in the same boat. But now I sit here, very proud and like, give you wrong answers. I will enlighten you later on. I'm the savior. Yes? Because I had already assumed that most of you would get it wrong. Now maybe my assumption was right, but that was my assumption. Therefore, with a smirk and a confident attitude, I went on. So I am making assumptions. I knew that you would make certain assumptions immediately without thinking, without actually analyzing, because that is what assumptions are. They're based on our past experiences. They're based on what kind of educational background we have. They're based on how our attitude is. Most of our life will live based on assumptions. Our entire life practically. At night we sleep assuming that we'll sleep well. We wake up assuming that it's going to be a good day. We wake up assuming that everything is functioning all right. Some of us wake up without assuming anything. Every action practically is based on assumption. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives us certain guidelines. In the 8th chapter, the Supreme Lord says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajattante kalevaram. Tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavita. Sada, always stay in that state of consciousness. What is that state of consciousness? What state would Krishna want us to stay in? Always. Because what he's saying is that whatever is the state of consciousness you cultivate throughout is what you will remember at the time of giving up your body. Tyajattante kalevar. At the time of giving up this body and moving on onto another body. Krishna is saying that a life would be based on so many assumptions. Therefore, kindly have good assumptions in life. Sada tat bhava bhavita. Assume the proper things in life. Otherwise, be in that state of consciousness. We think, yes, ultimately I have to remember Krishna throughout my life. Every time I meet someone, I say Hare Krishna. Whenever I get into the car, I say Hare Krishna. Whenever I am about to meet with some tragedy, I shout out Hare Krishna. If I don't know the answer to anything, I say Hare Krishna. If I've given the correct answer, I say Hare Krishna. Isn't it? If I want to greet someone in a pleasant way, I say Hare Krishna. When I'm angry at someone, I say, hey, Hare Krishna. So in this way, because I'm always saying Hare Krishna at the moment of death, I will be chanting Hare Krishna. It's not so. It's not so easy. It is simple, not easy. Why? Krishna is saying, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. What you remember at the moment of death, that is what you'll achieve in your next life. Therefore, that which you have to remember at the moment of death, remember it always, throughout life. Isn't it strange if remembering a particular theme at the moment of death is going to lead us to victory, then why do we have to do it throughout our life? And we assume that it is a moment of death that is most important, that is all that is important. That is the assumption that we have. Whereas Krishna is saying that is not what you should assume. He's saying what we must assume is that we must have that state of consciousness throughout one's life. That is the proper assumption. How many of us feel that our practice of Krishna consciousness is so that at the moment of death we can remember Krishna? Please raise your hands. What do the others feel? That we are practicing Krishna consciousness so that we can remember Krishna at the moment of death, at the last moment when we leave this body. How many of us believe in that? What about the rest? You're still trying to analyze the question? Okay. What do you believe in? You believe in the same statement, we should remember Krishna? Thank you, all right. You put up your hand a little late, so I assume that you had a comment to offer. Sorry, wrong assumption. How many of us believe that our practice of Krishna consciousness is to remember Krishna always? What is the difference between the two statements that we made? And the second one, we never apply in reality. Yes. You're right. You're right. We put stress more on what can be achieved rather than what is presently achievable. Have you ever seen that? Rather than focus on what we have on the plate, we focus on what is in the serving vessels. Oh, how much, Prabhu? So much sweet rice? Okay, give me some more. What we can get. That is how we make, or we tend to make wrong assumptions. To remember Krishna at the last moment takes an entire life of practice. And sometimes an entire life of practice may also not be sufficient. So how do we think that with whatever practice we have, we will easily achieve that moment? Will at that moment of death, anta kale cha mameva smaranukta kalevaram. You know about that old Bengali lady that was on her deathbed? And her son is telling her, chant Hare Krishna. She says, what? Ki? Ma, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ore Baba, eto boro naam bolte paro nahi. So many words I won't be able to chant. Ore Baba, eto boro naam bolto paro nahi. 15 words. She is able to speak 15 words, but she says, I won't be able to chant Hare Krishna. She is using, why will she not be able to chant Hare Krishna? It's too long. Too many words. I cannot speak out so many words. So, Sada tad bhava bhavitaha, Krishna is asking us to have the right assumption every moment in our life. Why do I say the right assumption? Because our sojourn in this material world began, our journey in this material world began with the original assumption which was wrong. And the assumption was, I will be happy without Krishna. Now that assumption has brought us into this material world. We assumed, I could be happy without Krishna. Bhuliya tumhare sangsare ashiya pe nana vidha pyatha. Having forgotten you, I assumed that I would be happy. I come to this material world. Therefore, it is important that we have the right assumptions now. I will be happy with Krishna. We must assume that. Belief, faith, at least begin with assuming that I will be happy with Krishna. You know, we are with our beads chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And we are having the most miserable time of our life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh my God, everyone else has gone to this wonderful function and I'm sitting here and chanting. When will this get over? Hare Krishna, Hare. No, you wake up and you look at your beads and you're like, oh my God. Another set of 16 rounds. You wake up and you think, oh, Mangala Arati again. You know, there are days like, after a few years, Janmashtami, Abhishek, Prabhu, are you coming? You go ahead, हमने बहुत देखा, आप जाओ आगे. No, we attended many Janmashtami functions. We've had enough, we assume that quota pura ho gaya. We assume, we've got our H1B stamped already. You are coming in the lottery, so you be careful. Sada tad bhava bhavita. It is important to assume that we will be happy. As long as we have this material body, because there is no direct experience of Krishna, we have to have an assumption that spiritual life actually is real. Spirit soul is reality, although I am not able to perceive it. I know, I give so many Bhagavad Gita classes and I've told people the soul is subtle, the soul is in the region of the heart. What about me? I have to assume that I will be happy with this understanding. I will be happy practicing Krishna consciousness. I will be happy chanting my rounds. I will be happy honoring prasad only. I will be happy in the association of devotees. Assumption after assumption after assumption. All these assumptions are proper because we are assuming that we will be happy with Krishna. Krishna right now is the deity form. Yes. My intelligence, the eyes of intelligence tell me this is Krishna. My material eyes tell me this is marble. So now there's a conflict. The conflict between what the material eyes see as real and what our eyes of intelligence assume reality. So, proper assumptions are very important. But it is not always that we'll have the proper assumptions. Does it mean that we are doomed? If our assumptions go wrong, what are the consequences? Is it that some people always have it right? They're born with the right assumptions. Is it that some people they are always tending towards making the wrong assumptions? Is there a way to change, to transform? What is it? These are questions that will be addressed during this presentation in the coming days. I'd like to conclude today's presentation with one example from the scriptures. And then in the coming days we'll give further examples from the scriptures. Brahmaji, when he heard the news, somebody WhatsApped him, Krishna has killed Aghasur. Brahmaji saw it. So he sent back a message. Send me some pictures. So he looked at the pictures. Oh, it looks like Aghasur. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know, this was Krishna. Let me go and find out. So Brahmaji gets on his swan carrier and comes to Vrindavan. Bhauma Vrindavan. And because Krishna is the Paramatma in the heart, Krishna wants to play a prank, like the boy at the doorbell. What is his prank? It's not his prank. It's not that he had specially arranged it for Brahmaji to be bewildered. It's just that he was going about his normal activities. He was with his friends. He was having fun with them. He was playing with them. Brahmaji was observing all of this. He was recording all of it. Because he wanted to analyze everything properly. And the more he was analyzing it, the more he was tending towards a doubtful disposition. Can God be a small child? I am Brahma. I never got to be a small child. So my father, can he be a small child? So he's assuming that God cannot be a small child. How can he be a small child? I mean, yes, he can act as a small child. I have such a huge form. I have mystical abilities too. But ultimately, I was waiting. Brahmaji is thinking that I'm waiting for him to show his big form, but he's just 4 feet tall. So the first question and doubt that Brahmaji is having in his mind is, can God be a small child? And to answer his own question, he has this thought in his mind. It is possible. It is possible, highly improbable, but it is possible. Now, whether this is correct or not, therefore I need to analyze this more. So he looks at his recording. He looks at Krishna. And then he sees Krishna having fun. He's playing with other young children. And then he has a second doubt. Can God play and have fun? I never have play and fun. So can my father do that? So this further increases his doubt. So according to Brahmaji, God should be a hard-working God. He can be a small child for some time by using his mystical potency, but ultimately he should reveal his huge form. And then, when he sees Krishna holding the yogurt and rice in his left hand, that clinches it for him. God doesn't have good manners. Or this boy doesn't have good manners. Now, anyone who has been trained properly in manners knows that one should never use the left hand, one must always use the right hand. It's auspicious. And he is God. He is God. How is it that he is eating out of his left hand? So Brahmaji is assuming God cannot be a small child. He is assuming God cannot have fun, having, play games with as small children do, with other small children. Thirdly, and this is because of Brahmaji's upbringing. This is because of Brahmaji's experiences, his own experiences. And thirdly, not very good manners. So what does he do? Now this is Brahma. Now all of us have one head. And when our one head has good intelligence, we try to use it in the proper way. We try to use it such that we do not commit any wrong. Brahmaji has got 4 heads, each one of them functionally very intelligent. Now with these 4 heads, Brahmaji, because of his assumptions, he comes up with the idea of testing God. Now what are his abilities? In its proper sense, Brahmaji, Lord Brahma, would have tried to analyze his own capability to test God. Now what is the ability that an ordinary living entity has to test the Supreme Lord? How can you even begin testing it? How does a ray of the sun begin to test the abilities of the sun? That is so illogical. To the most logical person who is giving logical reasons as to why he is having this doubt, how does he come to an illogical conclusion? Let me test Krishna. And just to prove to Brahmaji that how that how his assumption is wrong. Krishna says, forget about God being a small child. God can be unlimited small children. Here, I'll expand. So now God is not just one small child, He is unlimited small children. And then Krishna goes on to do something really, it blows away Brahmaji's mind. Not only can God be many small children, God can be many small calves. Now how are you going to understand this, Brahma? You decided to test one God who was a small child, now try testing all these gods. Just imagine how helpless Brahmaji must have felt. When Krishna expanded into all the cowherd boys, Brahmaji must have come with all his testing apparatus, to calibrate and see whether Krishna is 100% God. And he finds, now I have unlimited samples to be. And each one of them manifests the Vishnu form. Every single cowherd boy and every single calf. And all Brahmaji can do is express his helplessness and say, wrong assumptions. I made the wrong assumption. I made the wrong assumption. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. So, just because we perceive things, we have the facility and we have the capability to analyze things. We should be careful how we apply it and in what context. Whether we are going to base our actions on our assumptions, which could be very wrong, just to, the idea that one can try and judge a situation comes from the assumption that I am the controller. It comes from the idea that I am the controller. Shrutakirti Prabhu describes a beautiful pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Once Srila Prabhupada was at a function and the function was not going very well. It was a huge disaster. There was a ceremony. Complete disaster. Prabhupada said, where are the fruits? So they brought fruit salad for him. He wanted to offer fruits in the sacrifice. So they got fruit salad because they thought, oh, maybe he's hungry. Prabhupada stopped the function and said, we'll do this tomorrow. Learn the proper way. Because it seemed he was very angry. And everyone, no one, it was like Lord Narsinghadev. And even Lakshmi ji didn't want to approach him. So everyone was standing at a little distance. So Prabhupada walked off the Vyasasan up to his room. And it was right at midday when he takes his lunch. Now Shrutakirti Prabhu, everyone can stay away, but what can he do? He has to take the lunch box, the plate of Srila Prabhupada's lunch prasad inside the room. So with a heavy heart, he can sense there's so much tension in the air. He gently knocks on the door and slowly opens the door to Prabhupada's room and enters the room. Sometimes when you anticipate that the situation could not be really what you expect it to be, you're a little careful. And for the moment you cannot really focus because you don't know what to focus on, so your eyes are darting everywhere. So he enters the room like that. How will Srila Prabhupada react? And he finds Srila Prabhupada on his bed. He is on his back. Jai Shri Shri Radha Neela Madhav Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki Jai. Shri Ram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gauri Chandra ki Jai. He's on his back, and like a child, he's put his legs around put his arms around his legs, and is rocking back and forth, and is chanting Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, like a blissful child. And Shrutakirti Prabhu is amazed. So he goes up to, he says, Prabhupada, Prasad. And Prabhupada has this big smile on his face, and he gets up and says, Jai, Prasad. He washes his hands, sits down, and is honoring Prasad. And Shrutakirti Prabhu has this, I want to know what happened. I just saw him so angry. He's so eager to know what happened, but Prabhupada is like, he feels that Prabhupada is eating prasad in slow motion because of his own eagerness. So he has to wait, and then Prabhupada finishes honoring prasad, and he gets up, washes his hands, and he rinses his mouth, and with his towel he wipes off his hands dry. And he turns towards Shrutakirti Prabhu with a smile, and Shrutakirti Prabhu cannot wait any longer. He says, Prabhupada, I just saw you so angry, and now I see you so blissful. How is that even possible? And Prabhupada says, on the surface, the ocean is very turbulent, but deep down, peaceful. Deep down, peaceful. So, Brahmaji, he made assumptions. His assumptions put him in a situation of deep embarrassment. He was in a situation where he, Brahma, the supreme engineer of this universe, the secondary engineer of this universe, Brahma, the incarnation of Godhead, who's controlling the mode of goodness, who's in charge of, the mode of passion, in charge of the mode of passion, the Gunavatar, Lord Brahma, who's the Acharya of an entire parampara, Lord Brahma, who worshipped Krishna through so many wonderful prayers, Lord Brahma has to get down on his knees and seek apology. How many of us have done that ever? When you've done that, when you're really, that it was the biggest disaster of your life. It's not one of those moments where you're like, all right, some devotee is not happy with me, and you go to a senior devotee and say they're not happy with, I feel there is something going on, what should I do? And the devotee says, well, maybe that the person is not, may have taken some offense, so why don't you go and beg forgiveness? And we go, oh, okay, definitely, I'll do it. And you say, please forgive me, I think I've committed some offense, I have no idea what, but I think I may have. So please forgive me. Not those moods. It's when, there's a big, huge festival going on. You're supposed to be bringing in the deities and you forget. You've fallen asleep. Someone comes up to you and says, wake up, Prabhu! The deities, we needed them. It's already half an hour late and everyone is fuming. How do you beg forgiveness? Do you come up to the mic and, sorry guys, I just overslept, you know how it is, I was very tired. No. Because you realize the gravity of the situation. You fall down on your knees and again you beg forgiveness. Yes? And if you're a great personality, it takes a lot of what? What does it take a lot of? Humility. It takes a lot of courage. A lot of courage to go down on our knees and beg for forgiveness. Now Brahmaji cannot fake it in front of Krishna. He has to very sincerely do it. Just see how the wrong assumptions can land us into such severe trouble. Again and again and again, Brahmaji must have wished, oh, I should not have done that. Oh, I should not have done that. Oh, I should not have done that. But historically, he's done it. And nothing can change the situation now. So the wrong assumptions, again and again, they come back to us like a bad dream. I wish I had not done it. I wish I had not done it. So they make us do things that we later regret. And we sometimes really regret a lot because we assume. We assume things. So to conclude the introduction to this thematic presentation, assumptions is what our life is right now in this conditioned state. Most of the assumptions, these assumptions are born of various factors. Our birth itself, our upbringing, the impressions that we have received in life, our experiences, the things we believe in. Assumptions could be right or could be wrong. Generally, when we speak of assumptions, the idea is, oh, you should not assume things, as if assumptions are always wrong. But bringing, let's say, when we welcome deities in our homes and we worship deities, it is an assumption that we'll be happy serving them. Is it right or is it wrong? It's a correct assumption because we want to be happy serving Krishna. But the assumption is that we'll be able to worship them properly. How do we have every moment of our life, how do we live every moment of our life with the proper assumptions? That is an art. That is the art of Krishna consciousness. Sada tadabhava bhaveta. Always remain in that state of consciousness, O Arjuna. So what is that state of consciousness? Right now, with this material body, the material mind, and all of the desires that we have within our heart, it is very important that every moment we assume, I will be happy with Krishna. I will be happy with Krishna during Mangalarti. I will be happy with Krishna during book distribution. I will be happy with being with Krishna, serving Him with my family, along with my family. I will be happy with Krishna, serving in the association of devotees. I will be happy. It's not just that I will achieve success or I will be liberated or I will go back home, back to Godhead with all of these activities. I have to assume that I will be happy doing these things right now. Otherwise, the original assumption that brought us here will still remain within our hearts. And what is that? I will be happy without Krishna. That brought us here, so that will stay with us. It has to be replaced with moment by moment thinking, assuming, believing, I will be happy with Krishna. Asanshaya mahabhaho manodro nigraham chalam abhyasena tu konte vairagyena chagriyate. The process is not so easy. It won't be easy for us to control our mind that is used to assuming that I will be happy without Krishna. It is a fight, it's a struggle, we know it. But abhyas, regulated practice, vairagya, proper detachment, will achieve the goal. This is our assumption. We are assuming Krishna's words are right. And we assume that I will be happy by this, making this assumption that Krishna's words are right. Because there's no way we can have any other option. We are the marginal energy All we can do is either assume that we'll be happy with material energy or we'll be happy with spiritual energy. That's it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, any comments, any reflections? Yes, Parth. I never said that we will not be happy with Krishna. I said that I will be happy without Krishna. Mm-hmm. Someone can help me out with that? Hmm? Perfect.
No, he got it.
Yeah. Let everyone hear that.
Jiva bhuliya
Krishna bhuliya ji.
Krishna bhuliya jiva bhagavancha kare atev maya tare japatiya dhare.
Is that all right? Not all of us understand Bengali. So the translation. Krishna bhuliya jiva.
So forgetting Krishna, living into things he can enjoy, but then Maya captures him.
Therefore
Maya captures him.
Immediately. Is that all right, Parth? This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada would sometimes in his conversations say that, we were envious of Krishna. We should try and understand that it is from his context that he's speaking. It is not the context that we have. As soon as we think envy, we think that, envy means right now how I am envious, that is how I became envious of Krishna. Yes? Srila Prabhupada is speaking from the platform of his pure heart, his pure consciousness. There the word envy is, we made a choice. We chose because we had that option. It's like, love me not, love me not, love me. Love me. So can I enjoy with Krishna, without Krishna? With Krishna, without Krishna, without Krishna. Let me do it. That is how it happened. And that resulted later on, because as soon as Krishna was absent and we tried to enjoy material energy, we could not enjoy. But then we saw Krishna enjoying, or we hear about Krishna enjoying, so then slowly the envy developed, became more and more solidified. Is that all right? Any other comments or reflections? Yes.
You also covered that sometimes, at least for me, I feel the assumptions make me feel safe.
Yes.
And also, these assumptions are very familiar.
Yes.
So to give up these assumptions and to surrender to Krishna requires that leap. And
That leap of faith,
leap of faith.
which is an assumption, isn't it?
Krishna's help also comes.
Krishna's help also comes.
So, what do you think?
Would I be? I have no idea. Something would be coming up. If it doesn't come up, then you can give your own realizations. Is that all right?
Because this identification with the body and everything, it seems very familiar, very safe, very something that's easy.
Yes.
But it seems like that.
Yes.
To give up some of those things, it becomes something hard, and it's very hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't cover that, it's very clear.
Okay. We'll consider your request, or let us see how this seminar develops. Seminar, I don't know, it's a series of lectures, how it develops, and at the end of it, I thought it would be just 3 days, so now I have to stretch it for 4 days. The next 2 days will be just speaking on pastimes. Today was just an introduction with all those rapid fire questions. But pastimes from the Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the pastimes very briefly we covered, the Brahma Vimohan Leela. There will be other pastimes also. Right assumptions, wrong assumptions, what happens with right assumptions, what happens with wrong assumptions, what is faith, things like that. And then, how do we make the right assumptions, right? In this present state, this conditioned state, how do we always make the right assumptions? What are the tools that we need? Because unless until we have tools, it's not going to happen just by God's grace. Do you think so? Would it just happen by God's grace? Anyone here thinks that it will happen just by God's grace? Bhagwan chahenge to ho jayega sab kuch. By God's grace? But it happens only by God's grace, but if we think that that is the only way it can happen and so I should not do anything, it may not happen because God's grace does descend on us. We need to catch it. We need to be able to retain it, hold it. Otherwise, the grace envelops us and we are untouched by it. Yes? So that would be sort of the concluding part of it. And if in this presentation, if what you're requesting is addressed, let me know if it is addressed. Yes, how hard it is, how to make that leap of faith. Anything else? It's late, but any other suggestions, reflections? Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you mentioned about tools, Prabhu. So I don't know if that also means helping to validate our assumptions. Sometimes when we don't know whether our assumption is right or wrong, we need help in validating. And it's not an easy thing because, like you said, we make our assumptions based on a whole lot of stuff.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's not easy explaining a whole lot of stuff to a person.
Yes.
So how do we validate that whatever assumption we are making is right or wrong?
Quality control.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Quality control assurance.
Exactly.
Department.
Yeah. Because other than Paramatma,
that's a good point.
Who else can understand our situation other than Paramatma? So how do we validate it?
That's a very good assumption. That's a very good assumption. Please stay with that thought.
Okay.
Always.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
It's we've taken it very lightly, but that's a very good assumption. That is what we should have more faith in, I guess.
Okay. Sure.
Rather than the Paramatma, who else can validate?
Right.
Okay? So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Brinda ki jai. Those dolls. Hari Bol Prabhu. Did you enjoy the question answers? Good. Did you understand how the answers are right or wrong?